I really believe that the only way to take your power back from your abusers or bullies is to speak up, to tell the truth about what they've done to you. So that's what I'm doing. I've been doing it for a while, and I will continue to do it. I'm telling these stories, these awful occurrences that have happened to me, not to be mean, not to be cruel, not to be a rat, not to be hateful toward anyone. I am simply taking my power back from the people who have always tried to keep me small, from the people who have always lied about me very publicly, but then privately they would abuse me. And sadly, that started whenever I was very, very young. It started with the people I lived with. And that brings me to the story that I'm going to talk about right now. Whenever I was probably in 4th, maybe 5th grade, I wasn't very old, but I had a birthday or something like that, and I had gotten some money as a gift. I had a little friend stay the night, one night, and my mom said, "Do you want me to take you to Kmart so you can spend the money that you got for your birthday?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." So she took me and my friend. And when we got there, me and my friend took off, and then my mom went somewhere else in the store. And we were looking throughout the toys and, other things like that. And I couldn't find anything that I really wanted. Do you remember how Kmart's used to have the little cafe inside of the store? Well, this Kmart did. And they had ice cream. So I asked my friend, "Do you want to get some ice cream?" She says, "Yes." So we go to the cafe, and I buy each of us a scoop of ice cream. We are sitting there eating it, whenever all of a sudden I see my mom walk up. And the moment that I saw her face, my stomach dropped to my feet. Her face turned blood red. Her eyes squinted. And she marched toward me, jerked me up by the arm, dug her fingernails into my arm, as she did all the time, and was basically throwing me around like a rag doll in the Kmart little cafe, whatever it's called. And she was like, "What did you do? Why did you spend your money on ice cream?" Just really ripping me a new one right there in the middle of Kmart in front of my friend. And I was like, "We just wanted some ice cream." I didn't really know what to say. She was so irate. She made us leave Kmart immediately. And, of course, that wasn't the end of it. The entire drive home, she berated me in front of my friend, basically fat-shaming me for buying us a scoop of ice cream each. And, the whole time that this was happening, I was like, what did I do wrong? Which was the constant loop that was always playing in my head as a child. You know, I could never figure out what I was doing that was so bad or wrong. And that time was no different. You know, I didn't see anything that I wanted to spend my money on, so I bought me and my friend ice cream. Later that day, whenever my dad got home, she had to make sure that she embarrassed me in front of him as well. She looked at him and she was like, Rusty, tell your dad what you spent your money on today. And I said, I bought me and blank ice cream. And he gave me a look like, aw, you know, like it was bad. He gave me a disapproving look, but he didn't say anything because that was usually the roles in our home. You know, my mother wore the pants and he just went along with it. I don't know. She did things like that to me all the time. And you know, now that I am an adult, I think back on that and I think, she's really insane. Because truthfully, I always switch the roles. I think, well, what if that was me as a mother? And what if that was my daughter who spent her money on her and her friend instead of buying a toy for herself? Me personally, I would be like, oh, that was sweet. That was really kind of you. That was nice. You know, I certainly wouldn't shake her around like a rag doll by her arm and then degrade her. Make her feel badly about herself. I mean, the whole situation was incredibly embarrassing. I bawled like a baby the whole way home in front of my friend, who was stunned, by the way, which is how all of my friends were whenever they came over. No one ever knew what to say or how to act around her. And this is the woman who has convinced everyone that I am crazy, that I am mentally unstable. So yeah, just a little story time.